about. So I cannot share my screen, but I hope all of you have your books with you. So anyway, you can just listen to me because I'm just revising the theories that we have done for economic growth and development. So in this chapter in classic theory, I hope my voice is clear. I'm audible to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Raja. Okay, so in chapter 3, so you can just listen also, it's perfectly fine even if you do not open your books. I just want to revise all the theories that we have done up till now. So in development, what happens is that we try to understand the problems that we are facing in different countries. So what could be the source of those problems and how we can rectify those problems. So as we know that our focus in development economics is underdeveloped, least developed countries, developing countries, however we name them. So our focus is on these countries who are not getting developed over the previous some years. So we are trying to see that how the convergence with the rest of the world can take place, how these countries can undergo a development process. So in this chapter, what we are trying to do is that we are going to talk about the theories of economic growth and development. So we are going to talk about different theories of economic growth and development. So what we did was in the last couple of classes, what we have been doing, I'll just go through very quickly on these theories. So we have talked about linear stages theories, development as growth, and the linear stages theories. So we have talked about Harrod-Domer growth model. So in the Harrod-Domer growth model, the main conclusion is that you need saving and investment for growth to take place, and you also need to enhance your output capital ratio or decrease your capital output ratio. Either way you can call it. So basically efficiency of capital is need to be increased and we need to improve our saving and investment. So we had talked about this model. I'll just simply tell you, we have mathematically written this model and done this. I'll just quickly tell you the idea behind it. So whenever you need to do development, you need investment for that, and for investment the money is going to come from savings. So saving is required. Saving and investment are necessary conditions that you require for growth to take place. And you also, together with it, there are another component which is capital output ratio. So capital output ratio should be very less, or you can say output capital ratio should be very high. अगर आप k by y लिख रहे हो तो k by y हमारा less होना चाहिए. k by y हमने इसमें c से denote किया था. k by y should be less, or you can say that y by k should be high. What does it mean कि less k पे ज़्यादा y produce हो रहा है, less capital पे ज़्यादा output produce हो रहा है. So less capital, less k, and more y is what we want. So if you have k by y, it should be less, or you can say that y by k should be more. k by y less क्यों होना चाहिए कि आप मान लो 2 कैपिटल पे 10 आउटपुट बना रहे हो, तो आपका इंक्रीज होके एफिशिएंसी 2 कैपिटल पे 20 आउटपुट बनने लग जाए, तो आपका k by y जितना छोटा होता जाएगा, आपका कैपिटल आउटपुट रेशियो जितना छोटा होता जाएगा, जितना डिक्रीज होता जाएगा, उतना एफिशिएंसी ऑफ कैपिटल बढ़ता जाएगा. बिकॉज इन दिस केस वी हैव टेकन कैपिटल इन न्यूमरेटर एंड आउटपुट इन डिनोमिनेटर. इफ यू वांट टू टेक इट इन अदर वे, यू कैन टेक एज y by k. तो y by k आपका बढ़ता रहना चाहिए. y by k का मतलब आपका ज्यादा आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस होना चाहिए कम कैपिटल के लिए. तो अगर आपका कैपिटल डिनोमिनेटर में ले लिया, आउटपुट आप न्यूमरेटर में ले लें, तो फिर हम उसको 1 by c से डिनोट कर देते हैं, एंड k by y हम c से डिनोट करते हैं. व्हेन यू लुक एट द मॉडल यू विल रियलाइज दैट k by y is c. तो हमारा c छोटा होता जाना चाहिए एंड 1 by c बड़ा होता जाना चाहिए. The meaning of it is simply that हमारा efficiency of capital बढ़ते रहना चाहिए. वो हमारा technological progress से, हमारा efficiency increase होने से हमारा ये capital output ratio कम हो जाएगा या फिर output capital ratio increase हो जाएगा. Meaning of it is that efficiency of capital बढ़ जाएगा. तो either of these two things is required. If we have both of them together, we can have a development in our economy. So saving and investment is the main idea behind it. Even if C is constant, saving and investment should be high so that you can have growth in the economy. So this was Harrod-Domer model. Then I'm just very quickly going through all of them. So then we talked about structural change models. So we first model that we did was Lewis stages of growth model. So in the Lewis model we also have done, और Lewis model का diagram जरूर आता है, तो मतलब अगर इसका question आता है तो you will have to make the model, you will have to graphically show the model. So Lewis two sector या two stage model क्या कहता है कि कोई भी इकोनॉमी स्टार्ट करती है रूरल एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर से एंड देन इट प्रोग्रेसेस टू an industrial or modern sector. How that progression takes place? That progression takes place with the help of reinvestment and saving and investment. और आपको capital reinvestment करना पड़ता है. तो आप जैसे जैसे इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में, मॉडर्न सेक्टर में आप री-इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हो, आपके पास कैपिटल री-इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हो, आपका आउटपुट वहां पे और ज्यादा बढ़ता रहता है और आपके जो एग्रीकल्चर और प्रिमिटिव सेक्टर में, रूरल सेक्टर में ज्यादा लोग यूज हो रहे थे, those people get migrated from rural and agriculture sector and they move to the industrial or modern sector, and slowly you see a development path, you see a development of your country. So this is a two stage process, basically two sector model. One is the rural sector and the other is the urban sector or agriculture or industrial sector. So how do you go about it? That you keep on reinvestment of तो जितना भी प्रॉफिट हमारा अर्बन सेक्टर में होता है हम उसको री इन्वेस्ट कर देते हैं, एंड ऑन इंक्रीजिंग अवर keep on increasing our total product, and more labor from the rural sector gets absorbed in the urban sector, and that's how you have a development in your economy. So this is what we did, and इसका main tenet is saving and investment again. But of course इसके बहुत सारे क्रिटिसिजम्स हैं इसके ऊपर कि आपने बहुत सारी assumptions ऐसी ली हैं जो होती नहीं है, या हमने इस मॉडल को बहुत simplified way में लिया था. So then comes the another model which is structural change or patterns of development, which says ki you would see a certain patterns of development in the countries which are developing. So patterns of development means that you would see that their government is working better, their infrastructure is getting improved, their education is getting improved, their health is getting improved. So there are certain patterns of development which will get improved, will be shown when a country is on the growth path or on the development scale. So what are those patterns of development? Like the structural changes will involve economic functions, transformation of production, changes in composition of consumer demand, international trade, resource use, changes in socio-economic factors, urbanization, growth and distribution of countries, population. So आपको ये सारी चीजें दिखेंगी, इन सब factors में changes होते दिखेंगे जब आप डेवलपमेंट पाथ पे चलोगे, आप डेवलपमेंट करोगे, ग्रोथ करोगे. So structural change model says that patterns of development model says that you, and this is propounded by Chenery, so they say that you just need to correct all these parameters in your economy, because every country which has gone through development has seen these kinds of patterns of development. So if you also want to grow and if you want to have development in your economy, you should work in these patterns of development, and you will see development if you have worked on these patterns. And though those patterns are similar in all countries, of course the criticism is that it isn't same in all countries. That is where we go to the next set of development theories, which we started today, international dependence revolution. So first, so in this there are three theories. First theory is neo-colonial dependence model, false paradigm, and dualistic development thesis. So we did neo-colonial dependence model. Now this model says neo-colonial dependence model. Neo का मतलब new होता है. So neo-colonial dependence model just says that even if you feel that you can grow, there is a huge hegemony produced by the developed industrial big nations. And even if the smaller nations, even the underdeveloped developing nations want to grow, there is an inhibition for them to grow. They are prohibited to grow because the big nations do not want to lose their power. So US has a power, say, on most of the countries. They are much higher at a position than other countries. They do not want to create such a scenario for the developing countries to grow and overcome the position that they have achieved. So there is a position of developed countries and there is a position of developing countries which is below them, and they want to keep that power difference intact. They don't want to change it. They don't want developing countries to grow and take the place of developed countries. So this difference that is there is actually increasing over time because the developed nations, the industrial big nations, do not want to lose their position. They do not want the developing countries to have all those apparatus infrastructure, that they overcome that difference and come at the same place as the developed nations. So even though आपने अपने intrinsic factors सब change कर दो, internal factors सब change कर दो, government अच्छा कर दो, education, health सब पे काम कर दो, there is one factor which is not in your control, which is exogenous, which is external, is the dependence on international factors, international trade, or different countries, developed nations, which you cannot really do anything about, and they do not want to lose their position. So in fact, this theory says that even if you try your best to match the level of developed countries, the developed countries have created a situation, and most of the organizations that there are, IMF, World Bank, or whichever organization, international body you pick, they work to favor the developed nations, not the developing nations. And even if you try your best with your internal factors to match the gap, you might not be able to reach the level of developed countries, because that is how they want to keep the power in their hands. So this is not completely in our hands, that we can bridge the gap and we can come at the position of the developed countries. So this is second theory. This is the neo-colonial dependence model. The second theory is false paradigm, and third is dualistic development. हमने false paradigm, dualistic development अभी नहीं किया है, so we'll start with these two in the next class. I just wanted to revise the theories very quickly. We have revised, although there are much detailed we have done in class. So make sure that you understand all those theory. Usually इस पे जो question आते हैं इस chapter पे, और आता ही है जरूर, एक question दो question भी आते कई बार. So it's a big chapter. एक chapter ही है इस unit में. It's a big chapter, and there is always one or two questions from this chapter. And of course the questions revolve around theories. Either sometimes they ask you to compare the theories, or either they want you to compare these theories or elaborate on a certain theory or criticize a certain theory. So of course theories pe question aayega, development theories pe, and remember the names that the people who have given these theories, like Chenery has given patterns of development, or Lewis has given two sector model, or international dependence theories kisne diya. So just remember, so this is neo-colonial dependence model is of course taken from Marxist thinking. So make sure you remember the names of the people who have given these theories, because sometimes rather than giving the theory, they say that what was the theory given by Chenery, what was the theory given by Lewis. So you should know the names. Of course, they will ask you to elaborate on different theories, criticize the theories, compare the theories. So these types of questions come from here. Or maybe they sometimes ask you which theory talks about saving and investment as the key element for development, for the development of a country. Which theory emphasizes on two sector a model of development story? Which theory talks about the power difference between developed and developing nations? So they might ask you and then ask you to elaborate on it and then provide the criticism. तो आपको ये theories में इनकी main कंडीशंस पता होनी चाहिए, ये क्या कंक्लूजन दे रहे हैं और इनके क्या क्रिटिसिज्म्स हैं और कहाँ लैक कर रहे हैं, इनकी assumptions क्या हैं, वो सब हमें पता होनी चाहिए. So this is all we are doing in this chapter. I hope this chapter is fine to all of you. You are understanding this. If you have any doubts, guys, you can please stay and ask me. If you do not have any doubts, you can leave. Thank you so much, guys.